Hi boys and girls, my name is Ashley Gardner and I'm the Director of Children's Ministries at MLEPC, and this is my youngest son. What's your name?
My name is Theo.
Your name is Theo, and how old are you?
4.
4 years old, and we are so excited to be doing Children's Church with you today. We are meeting in person, 10 a.m. We have Children's Church for the kids. We would love for your family to join us, but if you are still more comfortable joining us online, we love that you are still able to hear the lessons. So last week, what did we talk about last week? We talked about Jesus! Yay! We read out of this Bible. It's the Jesus Storybook Bible. And do you remember what our story was? What did we learn about? Jesus. Just Jesus. Jesus all around. Where did Jesus go?
With the snake.
The snake with Satan in the... Where? Where is that? Somewhere hot or cold? Hot?
Hot.
In the desert. And Satan was trying to get Jesus to give in to sin, to give in to temptation. Did Jesus disobey God and listen to Satan? No. Jesus followed God. And after that, Jesus went and called his very first followers, his first disciples. Where did he meet them? Where were they?
In the water.
In the water. They were doing what? Were they taking baths?
Yes.
They were taking baths? No. What were they doing? They were fishing. They were fishermen. Had they caught a lot of fish?
Yes.
No, they had caught no fish, but Jesus told them to throw their nets out into deep water. And because Jesus told them, they listened. And did they catch a lot of fish or a little fish after they listened to Jesus?
A little.
No, they caught a lot of fish. So many that it was about to break the nets and sink the boat. They had to have another boat come and help them. After that, what did they do? Did they keep fishing? No. Who did they follow after that? Who did they follow after? Jesus. They left everything they had and they followed Jesus. Jesus said he was going to make them fishers of men. So we're going to pick up with our stories today in the life of Jesus. And we just learned about him calling the first disciples. He called 12 of them. And we're going to talk about today Jesus' first miracle. It's actually not in the Jesus Storybook Bible. So this one I'm going to be telling you on my own. Now, this is a lesson when I do it in person with the kids is one of my favorite ones to tell you guys, because I get to do a really fun little thing to show you a bit of what this miracle could have looked like. Do you know what Jesus' first miracle was?
What was it?
What do you think? Do you think it was him healing someone? Do you think it was him bringing someone back from the dead? Do you think it was him casting out some evil spirits? What do you think his first one was? What do you guys think it was? Healing someone?
Yeah.
That's a really good guess. His first miracle actually was not a healing. His first miracle involved a whole lot of water and a wedding party. Have you ever been to a wedding before?
No.
No. What happens at a wedding? Dancing. Yeah. People get married at a wedding. And after they get married, they have a big party afterwards. Where they dance and they eat and they drink. Do you know that in Bible times, weddings would last days? The party would last several days, and it would take a long time to get prepared for these parties. Do you think you would like to go to a party for a couple days?
Yes.
Yes. What do you think you would want to drink at the party? Gatorade?
Yes.
Yes. Maybe some pop?
Yes.
Oh, milkshakes?
Yes.
Hot chocolate bombs?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds so yummy. Well, the adults would drink wine. That was what was the customary thing. Would you want to drink wine?
Yuck.
Yuck. well, the adults would drink it. And to run out of food or wine was a really bad thing because it looked like you hadn't prepared for the wedding. So remember, did I say the wedding lasted one day or several days? Several days. This story starts after Jesus, his mom, and his disciples were at a wedding for 3 days. 1, 2, 3. And on the third day, they ran out of something. What did they run out of?
Gatorade.
They ran out of Gatorade? What did I say the adults drank?
Wine.
They ran out of wine. And back then, that would have been seen as a really bad thing. 3 days, no more wine. So, Jesus' mom came up to Jesus and she said, Jesus, they have no wine. And Jesus said, why are you telling me this? Basically, why are you troubling me with this? And Jesus said, my time has not yet come. Jesus was saying that it wasn't time yet for him to show his power, that he was the Son of God. But Mary, Jesus' mom, told the servants to listen to whatever Jesus told them. So Jesus said it wasn't yet his time, but Mary knew that Jesus was God's son. Who had told Mary that that her son was going to be God's son? Who told Mary that a long time ago? An angel. Remember, the angel Gabriel told her that. So Mary knew.
Was that a good angel or a bad?
Very good angel. So Mary knew that this wasn't just her son. This was God's son. And because he was God's son, he had God's power. So she thought maybe Jesus might be able to help. Just maybe. So Jesus tells the servants to get 6 huge jugs of water. Now I have some water here. These 6 jugs held about 30 gallons of water. This here is about half of a gallon. And I would need, to fill one of these jugs, I would need about 60 of these. Is that a lot?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's a whole lot. So he said to fill these 6 huge jugs with water. So 60 in each of water. And then he told the servants to do something really weird. He told them to take the water and give it in a cup to the master of the banquet. That was like the person in charge, and let them taste it. Now, what is in this?
Water.
What water? What did I say the adults were drinking?
Wine.
And what did I say they were out of? Wine. So if the servants brought water to the master of the banquet instead of wine, if the master of the banquet was really busy at this time, he was making sure all of the wedding was going how it should be, would the master of the banquet be upset that they were disrupting him to taste some water?
Yeah.
Yeah, but who told them to go and give it to the master of the banquet? Was it Jesus? Yes. Remember, when Jesus tells us to do something, even when it seems crazy and impossible, with God, impossible things can happen. Remember we just talked about when they put the nets in the deep water, even though they had been fishing all night, they caught a bunch of fish?
Yeah.
Well, they needed to trust that if Jesus said to take it, maybe something crazy and impossible would happen. So, we're gonna see. So they took this water, they poured it out. Oh, and what happened? Oh, what did the water turn into?
Gatorade.
The water turned into Gatorade, something they'd never tasted before. The water turned into, what did they want?
Wine.
The water turned into wine. Actually, it didn't turn into wine until they actually brought it to the master of the banquet. It was still water, but the master of the banquet takes it, what was supposed to be water, and it was wine at that point, and he takes it and he takes a sip, and he says to the bride and the groom that most people at a wedding bring out their best wine first. And then after people have drank a little too much, that's when they bring out the stuff that's not so good. But they said this bride and groom saved the best for last. He didn't know that it had just been water. He didn't know that it was Jesus that had done a miracle. But that's why it was so good. It was wine directly from God. Now, who knew that he did the miracle?
Jesus.
Jesus knew it. Did the servants know it?
Yes.
Did Mary know it?
Yes.
Did the disciples know it?
Yes.
Did the bride and groom know?
Yes.
No. The bride and groom, master of the banquet, the rest of the guests, just the disciples, the servants, and Mary. Why do you think Jesus did this? Who was he showing that he was to his disciples? He was showing that he was God's son, that he had the power of God. And after the disciples saw the water turn to wine, they started believing in him. They started putting their faith in him. Now, this story, if you want to read it on your own, this is in the Big Adult Bible. And this is in the book of John, and it's John chapter 2. And it says in John chapter 2, verse 11, what Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. So this was Jesus showing that he truly was God's son, that he had the power of God, and that he was going to glorify God through his miracles. This was something that helped the disciples to trust in him. What do you think? Would that have been cool to see water turn into wine?
No.
Why? You wanted to see water to Gatorade?
No.
What would
yeah.
Yeah. Would that have been a cooler miracle to you?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was pretty amazing.
It looked like Gatorade.
It looks like Gatorade?
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like Gatorade though. Did Mommy actually make water turn to wine? No. How did Mommy do that? Mommy had a bit of food coloring in the bottom of the glass. That's what made it go red. But Jesus, it wasn't any kind of trick. It was that Jesus had the power of God, and that is why Jesus, when he did it, he was able to actually turn water to wine. The Bible tells us through God all things are possible. We need to be trusting in God. We need to be trusting that Jesus is able to do amazing things. And not only just changing water to wine, Jesus is more powerful than anything around us. Jesus showed us that. The biggest way is when he died on the cross for us. He died for our
sin.
Yeah. He took our punishment for the wrong things that we had done. So Jesus was able to save us from that punishment. That was the greatest thing that Jesus ever did. But Jesus also is able to be with us in every single day. Just like when the wedding, when it went wrong, that they ran out of wine and Jesus was able to help them. When things go wrong in our everyday life, we're able to trust that God can help us too. When we want Jesus to help us, what should we do? How do we ask Jesus for help?
Well,
Yell?
yeah.
How do we talk to Jesus? What's it called when we talk to Jesus?
Wowing.
Yelling? No. Praying. We can pray to God. Praying to God is just talking to him. He wants to hear about our days. He wants to know us, and he wants us to know him. And when we are in trouble, he wants us to cry out to him, to pray to him. But it doesn't have to be just when things are going bad. He wants to hear from us when things are going good. He wants us to be talking to him all throughout the day. He wants to know us. He wants to be our best friend and our Savior. So I hope you guys liked this lesson today. Theo, did you like it? Yes? What do you think? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. Can you say goodbye to the boys and girls?
Bye.
Bye. We miss you guys, and hopefully we will be seeing you soon. Stay safe. We'll see you again next week. Thanks. Bye. Wait, bye.
Bye.